My name's Kathy Giske, and I am Associate Director with a ministry called Presbyterian Frontier Fellowship. In September 29th to October 10th, I led a vision trip to Turkey, and 12 people joined me. We had 5 people from Sonrise Christian Center. We went to about 15 different cities. Along the way, we met with 8 different ministries, both Turkish, Iranian, and Americans who serve in that country. And it was a memorable time, a time of really helping people connect both with the country and with the emerging Turkish church that's happening in that country. The purpose of this trip was to visit the Turkish believers and for people to see what God is doing, how God is working in kingdom work in the nation of Turkey, to connect both historically with the church of the first century and understand that the 7 churches of Revelation were there, but also to witness firsthand how God is working in the nation of Turkey today, and to develop partnerships with those leaders so that we can support them and encourage them, and also provide whatever training they need.
Kathy, this was not your first trip over to Turkey, and what was different about this trip to Turkey compared to the other times you've been?
Yeah. Well, I remember this is about my 8th trip to Turkey, and I remember each time I go to Turkey, my heart rejoices as I see how God is consistently working in that country, and I see changes every single time. I remember the time in the 90s when there were only 300 Turkish believers, and they were that very circumspect, very hush-hush, very underground. There was a lot of fear surrounding these people, and today we have upwards of 5,000 Turkish believers, both underground and public, who follow Jesus. That tells us that God is at work in Turkey in amazing ways. But what was memorable to me, what I noticed the most in terms of change, is the youth. I noticed a greater openness among the young people. I believe that they've been influenced by the pop culture in their values and their worldview and their lifestyle, and that's both good and bad. But what I see is that there is a hunger in Turkish people for freedom, especially among the youth. They've seen it on television, they've seen it on the internet, and and in that they are open to exploring issues of faith outside of organized religion, and that is leading them into a knowledge of who Jesus is, and that's what I see as exciting, that God is doing something phenomenal.
Hi, my name is Georgina Faulkner.
Georgina, your trip to Turkey was something you couldn't wait to do. It was very historical. It was very special to you, and I know that you did really well on the trip. What stands out to you the most of what you experienced in the 12 days we were there?
Well, for me, this was my first missions trip, so I was the newbie in the group. Everybody else had gone before. So the most memorable thing were my experiences. So fellowship with a group that went, gaining new friendships, seeing the sights of Turkey, being able to walk down the streets where they're rebuilding Ephesus was just so memorable to me and just makes my reading of the Word come alive. The sounds of a foreign country, hearing the call to prayer for the first time. The food, enjoying such amazingly great food.
Oh yeah, we had lots of food.
We did have lots of food. If we hadn't walked so much, I'd have probably put on 20 pounds. The people there, interacting with the people and conversing with the people was just amazing. They're beautiful people, they're friendly people, they're open. And these experiences, they were all so memorable to me. And I feel that anybody can have these same experiences if they'll ask God to open the doors for them. It's truly something I'll never forget.
Well, Sue, this fall you went to a very exciting trip to Turkey, and this was your first time in a Muslim country, I believe, and Turkey. Yes. What was the most memorable experience? What was most memorable about that trip for you?
Probably my most memorable experience was at the end of each day we would meet with either an evangelist or a pastor or a missionary that was in that city, and we would get a chance to pray for them and lay hands on them and encourage them. And that was probably one of the greatest thing that I saw at the trip, was just being able to encourage people that aren't able to be encouraged.